Look, I can't really relate to any of the things that are in this dressing room from my day, because if I just take you over here, the old dressing rooms, our showers, as they still are now, were obviously in that back bit there. And then the dressing room would start exactly in this spot here. Our set pieces used to be on the wall here, just on this, see this little wall? Just in there, so our set pieces used to be on there, and the door used to be going out there into the corridor where the manager used to stand before a game. And then our dressing room would come probably, I'm going to say probably to where Christian Eriksen's shirt is here. And our dressing room was around, maybe Toby Collier's shirt, maybe around here. So I reckon our dressing room ended there. Then there was a small kit room where Albert, our kit man, would be in, and that was something that you accessed down the corridor. And then all this area here, this was the away team dressing room. And in here was the away team dressing room showers. So what United have done in the last, just come back round. So what United have done in the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years is they've recognised that the dressing room here for the home team for United is not big enough. So they've taken up and swallowed up the whole of the away dressing room as well, and they've shoved the away team over the far side of the tunnel, so they come out over the other side. We used to come out in the same area, which I used to think worked for us. Obviously back in the day, if you think about coming to Old Trafford, it was quite intimidating, and we used to come out in the same little corridor, and teams obviously would sort of be more worried about coming to Old Trafford than we would be. So yeah, completely different, and they've obviously got this sort of like arc shape, which I think a lot of the modern dressing rooms have, and they've got the names up above on the dressing room walls. We never had that, we just had hooks, similar to the ones that are there now, and like our shirts would just be, you know, this layout of shirts and this layout of sort of kit was exactly how we used to have it. And then we'd have, obviously our shirt wouldn't be hung up actually, it was put down here, and I used to hang mine up. So you look at Bruno's here, so that's the shirt that he's going to wear today against Arsenal. I used to have mine that way. I'm sure that they will as well. Some of them will play around with it. But I mean, the thing for me about the dressing room is that I didn't spend a lot of time in it before a game. It sounds absolutely crazy. I'll just take you where I used to go. So this is where I used to sit, in this corner where Lenny Yoro is. So Peter Schmeichel would be here, I would be here, Dennis Irwin, that would be Roy Keane, and then you'd move down the dressing room, obviously with all the rest of the players, we play in position order. But I used to come in here, get changed in this corner, and I used to walk out. I'll just see whether this door's open. So this used to be the corridor, and then there used to be a door here. And this room should never have been touched. But it has been touched, obviously, because that's what we do, we rip out history, don't we? So this used to be the players' lounge, where there used to be a little corner over there beyond that wall, and there used to be a plaque on the wall with all the players who played for their countries, whether it was playing for Argentina or that it was Bobby Charlton playing for England, or you know, whoever it would be, Martin Buchan playing for Scotland. So yeah, this was the players' lounge. I used to come back in here and sit in here in this corner. Obviously it wasn't a kitchen, it was a nice little lounge area, just to get away from the dressing room, because the lads in there were obviously watching the television, they'd be kicking balls around, they'd be listening to music or different things. I just wanted peace and quiet, so I think Scholesy sometimes would come and sit in here, and a couple of the other lads that wanted a bit of peace. So yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time in the dressing room before the game, but this has all changed again. This has become like a warm-up area now. The medical area where you used to go for the massages was always in here. You used to get your strappings in there on your ankle if you had a bad ankle, or you used to have your rub on your back if you needed something going. And then obviously this was always the door. And that corridor there was the corridor we used to be able to see down to the away dressing room, but obviously that doesn't exist anymore. This is obviously now all the Manchester United home area. So we wander back in, and there's now, we used to have a television on the wall. Television on our wall was here, and sometimes before the game, Rennie Moulenstein or Carlos Queiroz would put the television on. They put clips of the opposition up and what their strengths were and what we had to attend to, bits of detail about their defenders, so where we could exploit them. But obviously that now happens over on that wall. They've got a sort of big widescreen television. So yeah, good memories. Long time since I feel like I've been in here, but very different than the one that I used to be in.
Ruben Amorim hopes to have 3 more players available for United's upcoming Premier League game against Everton. United's new head coach sat down with reporters at Carrington in the wake of the UEFA Europa League draw in Nyon, Switzerland, where the Reds were paired with Real Sociedad in the last 16. But foremost in the Portuguese's mind was tomorrow's short trip to Merseyside, when United will fulfill the club's last ever fixture at one of England's most historic stadiums, Goodison Park. The Reds lost 1-0 at Tottenham Hotspur in our most recent Premier League fixture, but Amram hopes to have 3 absentees from that game available for selection on Saturday: Christian Eriksen, Manuel Ugarte, and Lenny Yoro. Asked at the start of the press conference whether it had been a better week, in terms of the health of his squad, Ruben replied yes, because we don't lose players. We recover players. Chris, Manu and Lenny return, and, with Chris, it was a misunderstanding. I want to be really clear on that also, because of Chris. He's healthy and ready to play for many years in a high level. It's just my limitations explaining the injuries. I want to make this really clear. Questioning then moved on to the Reds' other injured figures, most notably, Ahmad, Toby Collier, Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount and Luke Shaw. It's hard to know about the others, he admitted. Ahmad is for a long time. I think Mason Mount continues to make his recovery. Luke Shaw continues to make his recovery. I don't have a day for his return. Toby Collier seems to be the closest one, but not now. Kobbie Mainoo is recovering. We have to adapt to use the players we have for the schedule. Altay Bayender is making a recovery, Tom Heaton is making a recovery, Amram continued. Again, I don't have a day, but they are recovering. Everton vs Man United prediction: David Moyes to inflict further woe on former club. There will be no divided loyalties for the former United boss, who left Everton in 2013 to replace Sir Alex Ferguson at Old Trafford, only to be sacked less than 12 months later. Now his Everton side sit 1 place and 1 point above the Red Devils after securing 4 wins and a draw from their last 5 league matches. United, on the other hand, have won just 2 of their last 9 matches, against Southampton and Fulham, but go into the game on the back of defeats to Crystal Palace and Tottenham. Everton vs Man United betting Moyes to get the measure of United. One thing that is guaranteed from a David Moyes side is that they will be organised and work hard, but the same can't seem to be said of Manchester United right now. A lot of criticism has fallen on the manager Ruben Amorim, who has won just 9 of his 21 games in charge, but when are the players going to realise they need to do more? The same players failed under the previous manager Erik ten Hag, and some of them continually disappointed under Ralf Rangnick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before them. It's always easy to blame the manager, and of course, it's easier to get rid of them than players on 5-year contracts, but right now it's hard to see how anyone could improve United. They are struggling to score goals, after failing to score in 5 of their last 9 games and bagging just 28 in their 25 league games, 1 more than Everton. But they have conceded 4 more, and the Toffees have kept 9 clean sheets this season, which is just 1 less than both Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, who have the most with 10. It's been a long time since the football betting sites had Everton as the favourites to beat United, but they are offering 138 on David Moyes' side taking all 3 points. You can get 19.10 on a United win and 94 on a draw. United have won the last 6 meetings between the two sides, including the last 2 matches at Goodison Park. Last season, goals from Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial earned them a 3-0 win, and we all know that only one of those players is still at United now. The season before, the visitors came from a goal down to win 2-1 thanks to goals from Antony and Cristiano Ronaldo. Everton's last home win over United came in April 2022 when Anthony Gordon scored the only goal of the game to secure all 3 points. As Everton boss David Moyes only managed 3 wins over United in 24 attempts between 2002 and 2013, but the best came just over 15 years ago when his side came from a goal down to secure a 3-1 win thanks to goals from Diniar Bilyaletdinov, Dan Gosling and Jack Rodwell. Despite their recent results, I'm still backing Everton to take all 3 points on Saturday and continue their climb up the Premier League table. Everton vs Man United prediction: Beto to bag again. Striker Beto has really stepped up after the latest injury to fellow striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, with 4 goals in his last 4 games. He scored twice in the 4-0 win over Leicester at the start of the month, before following it up with strikes against Liverpool and Crystal Palace to take his tally for the season to 9 in 22 appearances, but 2 of those were for Everton's U21 side in a 3-1 win over Tranmere Rovers in the EFL Trophy. Betting sites are offering 132 on him scoring first, 61 to score last, or 2,910 to score at any time.